Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Just a little follow-up in a way to the Elon Musk buying Twitter as a free speech platform. We all know, of course, if Twitter hadn't banned the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story, we would have had a different president. Now, whether you agree, like Trump or hate Trump or like Biden or hate Biden's immaterial, they use their power to stifle free speech. It ended up being a huge story and still is. Now, here's the thing. This is my opinion. This is an opinion piece. I'm going to play a little bit from Timcast. He ended up wanting to buy a billboard in Times Square saying that Taylor Lorenz doxed the Libs of TikTok owner, which she did. She says, well, I didn't really do that. It was her business address, and I only put a link to it. Well, her business address was her personal address because it's an LLC. And often people with LLCs that know about corporations know it's many times it's your personal address. So this is a shot across the bow, so to speak. But what I'm gonna tell you what I think we need to do as conservative people or anti-progressive, whatever you want to call us, to do. Let's listen a little bit to this, and then I'll intervene. It's very interesting, to say the least.
We will be correcting on the record a media lie. And all in all, I think it's a great marketing spend. If you want to support that effort, owned it, but the gaslighting deserves a proper rebuttal. Should I buy a billboard in Times Square saying Taylor Lorenz doxed Libs of TikTok? I wouldn't care if they just owned it, but the gaslighting deserves a proper rebuttal.
That's true. The gaslighting does deserve a proper rebuttal. And he's talking between $100,000 and $250,000. That's real money. I don't care if you're Elon Musk. That's still a crap load of money. And is Tim putting his money where his mouth is? Well, maybe he is. But this is a call to arms. This is like the old days with the Minutemen in the United States when the local town rang the bell. All the Minutemen within hearing distance of the bell basically suited up, got their weapon, and proceeded to go to the town square to protect the town, or whatever reason why they called the Minutemen in, to help defend the area from whatever threat there was. In this case, it was British Redcoats. I'm calling, I'll call it a Minuteman bell to all conservative people out there. The tide is starting to turn, but we need to push harder. We need to push way harder. The bell's ringing. Are you going to participate? Now, all of us like me don't have YouTube channels. Granted, mine is really small. But even still, if my channel influences 5 people, that's 5 times the people that I would have done had I just shot the breeze and talked to people on my own. Does it have the outreach that I wanted to? No, but maybe someday it will. But all of us need to do this. It's going to be tough talking to family members, especially neighbors, people you work with, co-workers. But the bell is ringing. Will you answer the call? Let's listen to some more, and you'll see a surprising little twist in this.
They got the Washington Post, big reach. You know, they got that, and they got on CNN and other big networks. Now, I know, countering that narrative goes on Tucker, but I want a proper rebuttal. Times Square, big billboard. Now, here's what we'll accomplish. We'll be advertising timcast.com. We will be advertising our disdain for media lies. We will be correcting on the record a media lie. And all in all, I think it's a great marketing spend. If you want to support that effort, and it is expensive, head over to timcast.com and become a member, because I think it's between $100,000 and $250,000 for a typical ad run. Now, I don't know exactly how it will work. It may not end up being that expensive at all because, ladies and gentlemen, from the Daily Wire, our good...
And there it is. And there it is. Jeremy Boring was recently on Tim's show. Saw the tweet. He said, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I'm good for half. And you go, Jeremy Boring is one of the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. And here's what I'm talking about. We need to rally together. That's the one thing that the progressives and the leftists have always been incredibly good at that conservative people aren't. There's strength in numbers. And I don't mean just numbers of people. There's strength in pooling money together. This is a classic example. This is awesome, absolutely awesome. The bell is ringing. The Minuteman bell is ringing. Will you answer the call? Let's listen on a little bit more. It's incredible what's happening.
Friend Jeremy Boring, co-CEO, says, yes, do it. I'm good for half. My response, all right, how do we do this? To which Jeremy said, I have a billboard in Times Square right now for Jeremy's razors. First thing we should do is see if we can swap it over or get extra time. I'll have my guys reach out to the agency in the morning. It's happening.
And there you go. It's happening is right. I think conservative people, small channels like myself, just everyday normal Americans that love the country and the Constitution have been isolated from each other for a long time. The one great thing we should learn from the progressives and the leftists is how they do things, how they pull their resources. And resources isn't just money. It's influence. It's what Twitter did for a long time. They were some of the main weapons of the progressives with social media and mainstream media. Now they're falling apart. Twitter has fallen for the progressives, that is. CNN Plus, $100 million invested. They pulled the plug in a month. Their ratings are plummeting in all the mainstream media except for Fox. The tide is starting to turn. Now's the time to turn up the heat. Now, John, how do we band together? We're all individual people spread all over the place. Social media, places like here on YouTube. Support content creators like myself, even small ones. Try to sub to as many as you can to try to get the word out. Like I said, even if I only influence 5 people, that's 5 times more than I would have if I had just done it when I had my business or just talking to neighbors and friends and family. Get the word out. Start pulling your resources, i.e. either bodies to help push the narrative or, in this case, money. Let's listen on.
Conversations are currently underway to get a billboard up in Times Square because I am sick of sitting back and just saying words. You can only complain about something for too long before you just say, you know what? How about this? How about we do something about it? How about we put our money where our mouths are? I look at Elon Musk buying Twitter, and I think to myself, I wish I could do what Elon Musk hath done, or is trying to do. What he has done is made an offer on Twitter. I certainly don't have access to that much capital, but sure. What we can do as our companies become ever more successful is push back, build culture, shake the system up a little bit.
That's right. Build culture. Shake up the system a little bit. Absolutely amazing. Finally, maybe the incentive, they've always, at the Daily Wire and Timcast, whether you agree with Tim or not, they've always pushed for culture change, the culture war. The war isn't in the ballot box, even though that's a huge part of it. Most of that is the culture war. And right now, the progressives hold all the keys to the kingdom. They hold the mainstream media. I was going to say all the social media, but that just changed dramatically with Elon Musk and Twitter, and Hollywood, and all school districts, whether it be high school, junior high, middle school, elementary school, even preschool. We allowed them to take over everything. Now's the time to push back. The bell is ringing in the town square, and you're at your house, and you hear the call to arms. Are you going to take up that call? Like I said, if you don't feel uncomfortable about talking to a lot of friends and family and people you don't want to get in arguments and pissing matches over politics, then support small creators like myself and even big creators. That's the way you can help. I'm not saying give money to Timcast, and I'm not saying give money to the Daily Wire. even though I do give money to both. In all fairness, full disclosure, I am a member of Daily Wire and I am a member of timcast.com. I give monthly. It comes out of my bank account. And I'm happy to do it. It's not that much money. And plus the fact I get to see some content that you wouldn't normally see. Like the after show on Timcast is pretty cool. Same thing with the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring. About time. And as Jeremy Boring said in his Harry's Razor ad, are you tired of the liberal bullshit? Yes, we are. This is an incentive. If you don't have the money, I get it. Things are really tough. But watch a lot of small member content like myself and others. Comment. Put a thumbs up. Put as many comments as you can in the comment section to bring the algorithm up. And that way you can push the message. It doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribe to as many small content creators as you can. And we'll bring this up from the ground up. And I tell you, it's coming. Like I said, the bell is ringing. And you're one of the Minutemen. Are you going to answer the call? Let's listen to more.
The Daily Wire's certainly been doing that. Jeremy is certainly down to do it. I'm a big fan of the Daily Wire, guys. And I'm certainly willing to do it. We need to get in the face of culture and say, it's time to do stuff. Now, what's a Times Square billboard really going to do? You know, like I mentioned, it's good marketing. It might get some earned press, meaning it'll ruffle the feathers of these leftist blue checks who are going to be like, oh, you bought a billboard. Yeah, we could buy a billboard. You can't. Too bad. You know what these blue check journalists do? They get jobs at these media outlets where there's natural pull. They are wearing the Washington Post and the New York Times like skin suits, milling around saying, we're journalists. And it's like, no, you're not. You're activists.
Yes, they're activists. They're not journalists. I'm 65 years old. When I was young, I looked at two careers, and I didn't pick either of them, unfortunately. One was an architect, and one was a reporter / journalist. And I really, really leaned on the journalist-reporter part. I never did it, of course. Some things happened in my life where I got distracted, and that's so it goes. But that's a different story, different for another time. What I see journalists doing now sickens me. Absolutely sickens me. Well, they twist and manipulate. Everybody has their own opinion, and when you write a story, it's slanted because of human nature. But these guys outright lie. And even worse is the lie of omission. Well, they'll take something and twist it and turn it, like Piers Morgan recently with the audio tape of the Trump interview. Well, they edited the hell out of it to make it look like Trump was a hothead and stormed out of the interview. Nothing of the sort happened because Trump is smart enough to have recorded the whole audio in its entirety to make him look like a fool. And it worked. And I used to have some respect for Piers Morgan. He used to push back against the progressives in England. No more. No more. Look at Jon Stewart. He was a funny guy. Granted, he was left, but you know what? He was an equal opportunity pain in the ass. And I didn't mind that at all. And he was actually funny. He took a few years off, and when he came back, he went on a few talk shows, started talking some common sense to push back on these progressive nut bars. So what's the first thing he did when he got an Apple TV show? He went way woke. John, Piers Morgan, all of them. The tide is turning now. It's the call to arms. And just so YouTube doesn't freak out, I don't mean the arms to actually have conflict with people with firearms. Nothing of the sort. It's just an expression. The bell is ringing. The Minutemen are being called in. Will you answer the call? Let's listen to the rest.
Be an activist. I don't care. You're allowed to be an activist. But shut up with the gaslighting. The Washington Post originally included a link to the real estate license of the person behind Libs of TikTok, which included a private home address.
And there we have it. And so it goes. Are you going to answer the call? Are you going to answer the call? It's as simple as that. Those of us have been ringing the bell for a long time. Now is the time to pick yourself up. In this case, you can't go door to door and talk to people. You're not involved in any political campaigns. I get it. You don't have a lot of money to give $10 a month to Timcast or Daily Wire or anybody else. But answer the call by supporting small content creators. Answer the call by, if you never had a Twitter account, now it's going to be open free speech, expression of opinion, unlike before. Open up a Twitter account. Make it incredibly more successful than they were before. Granted, Elon Musk is in it for the money. I'm not going to lie. He's a businessman. But he's also a smart businessman. And he knows that free speech will make him money. A free town square exchange of ideas and opinions, and many of them are going to be ugly. What they call hate speech. Well, the answer to ugly speech and hate speech is more speech, not less. Answer the call. Subscribe to as many small YouTube channels as you can that express your conservative views, your views in love of the country. Support those people. It doesn't cost you a dime. Make a comment in the comment section and bring up the algorithm. Click the like button whenever you can. Share the link with as many people as you can. Maybe that's your way to get through to friends and family and co-workers. Just take the link and email it to somebody. Or leave it on your Facebook for normally a lot of older people are on Facebook. Use Facebook, use social media, use Twitter, use everything you can to push channels like mine and others to get the message out. That's what grassroots activism is all about. Let's take a successful page from the playbook of the progressives. It's up to you whether you want to take the whole 2 minutes to send a link or the whole minute and a half to leave a comment in the comment section and hit the thumbs up button. That's your way of fighting back. The bell is being rung. Will you answer the call? Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.